Hello, Jennifer from Asterandanne, and here today we are talking about our book cover slash project cover. Called that because there is different ways that you can make up this kit and personalize it and use it to how you would like to use it. So I'm going to show you some examples and we'll open it up in a little bit. So having a look at some of the things that you can do, you can certainly embellish them with different machine designs, or you can personalize them by hand. This is one where I have done some foundation paper piecing and I have personalized the inside. So you can make the inside your own however you would like to do it. So I've got the bit of elastic in here and popped in some scissors and things. It's perfect for carrying around your projects, and it does hold lots of thread as well. So that's one way of personalizing it. Lots of other uses for it. Our kit, does come with this mesh bag already made, and when you make it up, all you need to do is stitch it down the center, and that's all you need to do to insert it. So the zippers are everything is already done with our mesh bag. So this one I opted not to put the mesh bag in. I will use it for something else, but I have personalized the little pockets, and I have made it so that I can pop in some business cards and use it that way, and it has my planner for this year in it. And that's how I have utilized this one. I have just popped in one piece of elastic here to pop a pen through. This one has been embellished by machine again as well, and again personalizing the inside with stitching in some pockets or whatever we would like to do. This time around I popped in 2 pieces of elastic to create the pen holder there. This one, more machine, and this one I have added some glitter paint to it. But once again, personalizing the inside and the back. You can do as little or as much as you'd like. So this one I did some English paper piecing, and then that was done by hand, and then I stitched it onto my kit. And this one I have a pen holder just there, the same with personalizing, somewhere to put different things, whatever I'd like to use the pockets for, and depending on what my purpose is as to how I'm going to use it. This one has been embellished by hand, and I'm using it to keep my Suspago stitch book in here. So that's a nice way of being able to, keeping that book nice and clean and keeping it inside there. I've got pens and things if I want to pop in some notes about making or using the book. And another one, still just other ways of being able to pop in, use the elastic however you like. So it really is all about making our book cover slash project cover up to personalize to your needs and how you would like to use it. So let's take a look at what we get inside our book cover slash project bag or project cover. So opening it up. Okay, so here we have our front and back piece. We have 2 facings. So the 2 facings, depending on what you're using it for, whether you want to put the wider facing at the front or at the back, it's your choice. Same with the narrower one, you put it where you would like it to be, and the same with the pockets. You can see there's a lot of different things you can do with those. You can even pop them on the outside if you would like to. So lots of ways to use those. You get also in your kit some elastic. So you can create your own holders for pens, or you can stitch the pieces of elastic on to be able to hold different things in there. Get the closure and pins, and again some needles, instructions, illustrated instructions, and also the mesh bag. And that has been made up so that it's got the zippers already done, and all you need to do is stitch that in, and that's all done. So that's everything that you get inside your book cover / project cover, and now we will have a go at putting it all together. Okay, so now I'm going to start to make up our book cover / project cover, and I have decided to pop in, stitch one pocket here where I have it sitting, and I'm going to do the other one up here. When I do pockets this way, and you can certainly personalize this however you like, but I like to do it so that I can pop a business card in there. So I tend to start stitching about halfway down, and then I just stitch around that way. So we're going to do that now. Just pin these two into place. And for this one, again, I've just actually eyeballed it and just thought, okay, that looks like it's in the middle there, kind of where I would like it to be. It's a handy little pocket just to pop little bits in, whether it be business cards, or if you wanted to, you could pop some elastic in here as well in order to hold something specific, and it could pop into that pocket. But you've also got the mesh bag as well that you can use to pop bits and pieces in. So we'll stitch these on, and I am using a stitch length of 3, and I am using Wonderfil's designer thread. This is a all-purpose polyester thread. It's a 40 weight, and I like to use this one. It's strong, a really good thread, but the color is absolutely perfect. So it is designer color number 127. If I don't want any of the stitching to stand out, this is my go-to thread. That's designer 127. Sometimes I might like to have something on the outside where I'm really making a feature of the stitching around, and then I would use something different. But for this purpose, we're just going to go with that one. So just getting ready, and just really simple. You just stitch the pockets on. So you can see that was really easy. As with all of our kits, we have designed them so that the actual construction is really simple, but you just get to spend the time doing the embellishing. So we'll do this other one. Now I am starting about halfway down, and really the same kind of thing, just stitch around the outside. You can of course do decorative stitches as well. This is where you get to create your own book cover. So they are now stitched on. I'm going to stitch some elastic into the side seam as a pen holder, so I'm not going to put that in just yet. The next thing we will do is add the closure onto our kit. So the closure is in 2 parts. We have obviously the top and the bottom. So this part, this section, gets stitched onto the top of our book cover / project cover, and this section gets stitched onto the back. So I'm going to start with doing the top, the front side first, and all we need to do is mark the center and stitch it on. So you can do with all of our hardware, you can choose to do it whether it's by machine or by hand. This one I will do by machine so you can see how we do that. And I'm just going to change my foot to be a zipper foot. Okay, I have my zipper foot attached and now going to stitch through. This is our tab closure is made of quite flexible and soft leather, so it's really easy to stitch through, and I am just using a size 80 needle here. I'm going to increase my stitch length up to a 3.5, and we will see if we can marry up those holes in there. So let's go and stitch all the way around. So you can just roll up the side as we go around. There we go. Now when we stitch the front facing on, we will be going through this stitch line again as well. So just get that off. And to do the other side, I like to just attach the closure, fold it over, pop it over to the other side, and when we're just stitching, we're going to be attaching this with having a maybe 3mm seam allowance. So the holes that I've got here, let's see if I can point those. So the holes that are here is where we're going to be stitching through. So just put that pin there. So that's going to be my stitching line. Hopefully you can see that. So I've got a little bit of a pin there. Undo, and then we will just stitch this on the same. But first of all, let's go back to our regular foot because we don't need to have the zipper foot there. Back into the center and stitching. And as before, we can just roll up our felt around the curve. Okay, so that's our closure stitched on. The next thing to do is to add in our facings. So, this is how we're going to look. Here, do that one on that side and that one on that side. And when it's stitched together, that's how it's going to look. So I'm going to pop in some pieces of elastic on this side here so that I can pop a pen in there if I want to. So before I go further, I like to pop the elastic onto the facing and I'll stitch it on here. So I'll cut a little piece. Now I have cut that elastic at about 5 centimeters or 2 inches. And I want it to be either side of my closure. So I'll just pin. So that's where I want it to be, because then my pen can just slot in there. So I've got it pinned ready to go, and really simple construction. It's just going to stitch here. With my foot, I'm using an open toe foot, and I like to just have the edge of my foot to be on the just up against the felt kit itself, and that keeps a really nice straight line. Back to a 3 stitch length, and I do have the designer thread in my bobbin as well, so that I've got exactly the same colour top and bottom. Okay, and depending on your embellishing, you can just continue to stitch along there and then do the other side, but we'll have a look at this. So before, when the seam that I took to stitch on the closure, I have now just stitched across that same seam there, so we've just got that one row of stitching that goes across. Okay, so to start to stitch the other side facing on, I'm going to stitch it from the top side this time, because we want to stitch past our button here. So I like to do from the top, and I'm going to swap back out to our zipper foot just to make it a little easier as we go past there. So pop the zipper foot back on. Does make it easier, and really depends on your machine as well, but I find the zipper foot is easy to get alongside the closure. So starting up with our felt pieces, given the thickness of them, you can tell you can feel the sides together. So it's relatively easy to keep it together. If you're not confident, you can of course pop some pins in to hold it together. Lift my foot up so that I can stitch through that same stitching line. And I can feel that that's where my facing is ending. I'll stop there. And that's our second facing stitched in. There. And the only thing left to do now is to stitch in our mesh bag. So to do that, I just mark the center, or we can see the center where we've got the fold. You decide which way up you want to have the zippers. I'm going to have them up at the top so that they can pull down. And I can easily line it up. You can see the center. And pop in a couple of pins. Another way of making sure that you've got it in the center is you can tell by the sides as well. So I've got that in. A little bit over. And I will change back to the other foot and just simply stitch all the way through. So straight down the center. And our tape that we have here means you can, if you want to, you can stitch on either side so that the tape is secure, so you can stitch down there, or you can choose to stitch down the center. I have hand sewn these in as well, so it's entirely up to you which way you do it. And there we have it. Our book cover slash project cover, all made. Put that together. And that's it there. Created so we can pop a pen in there, and you can pop in whatever you like in the pockets and the mesh bag. So that's it. Thank you.